Hello and welcome to an episode number 4 discussing the Mobirise interface. This movie I'm going to show you how I set up my Mobirise interface for success. We're going to talk about the hamburger, the left bar, sites, pages, account, themes and extensions, the help area, how to visit the help center, and how to visit the forums. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're just going to go over and we're just going to start Mobirise. This is Mobirise 4.5.4, and okay, so here I am logged in, or not logged in, but my Mobirise current version 4.5.4 is open. So at the top of the bar here we have the hamburger. And then we have the preview, mobile preview. We have the preview in browser, and we have the publisher. Down here we have the add a block. So what we're going to do is log in. So first thing we're going to do is go to account, and then we're going to put in our email address. And then we're going to put in our password. Password should be at least 12 characters, as many as 18 characters, using uppercase, lowercase, and numbers and special characters and everything like that. So I'm in. Now we're going to start out by going to my account. You can create as many accounts as you want, and then you can build sites in the account, but if you go and purchase special add-ons, they only work with the account that you assign them to. First we're going to go to app settings, and when we look here we can see that all we have right now is mobile views, but we go to app settings, you can see that we can show page and site names, show all views, show the redo undo button, show all block buttons, show all style buttons. This one here allows you to do certain things to set it up. We'll show you how. So now we're all set up. So now this appears here, and so we can set Title 1 to be a certain size. We can pick all the fonts. We can pick whether we want all the blocks to have rounded buttons, if we want animation. Some people like square buttons. It defaults to square. If we say let's have square buttons, we would turn it off. We could pick our primary color. We could pick our secondary color. If we wanted to make our primary color black, or if we want to make our primary color blue, we can make we can specify our buttons and links. We're just going to leave it here. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to look at sites. So this is where you would create a new site, or you would use existing sites. I'm moving away from having any sites in this left bar because if there's any corruption, it's a real problem. We'll talk about that more later. So if we create a new site, then we can pick from the themes that are free and those that we paid for. So for me, here we have Mobirise 4 free, Mobirise free, Mobirise 3 for version 3, Purity M usually used for version 3, Space M used for version 3, Color M used for version 3, Direct M used for version 3. So if we wanted to, we would create here. We're not going to. We're going to come back here and we're going to go to Themes and Extensions. And we can see here that we have all these themes. If you wanted to buy all the themes, you would click here and you would go pay for it. Okay. If you see a plus sign, this is free, 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 this is free. This is an add-on. This is Whitelabel add-on for cleaning things up. And this is Ricosoft squared standard contact form, which uses an extension. So you would import the extension here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here we've already purchased Agency M4. I refer to it as just Agency 4. Just because we already paid for it, I deleted it. I can just click on plus and it will add it back in. After it adds it back in, it will tell us information how to use it, if you will. So what it's doing is it's basically on the cloud, and on the cloud it's saying we're allowing Doc with the user Voyager01 at spacevoyage.com to use Agency 4M because he already purchased it, and it's saying that it's going to appear in the new site. So we click here. Okay, so here it is. If we wanted to delete it, we could, but because we paid for it before, we still have access to it. And I believe that as long as it's available, we would be able to use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here, and then what we're going to do is wait for it because it's refreshing itself, saying we have a new tool, let's make sure that we know it's there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to go to Sites, and we're going to click on Create a New Site, and now you can see Agency 4 is here. So if I clicked on that and clicked on OK, we would have a new site beginning, and we would be able to name the site. The way you name a site is very important. So when we go to Sites, and you come, this is to edit your site styles. So we could do this. Remember, it was over there before. Or if we come here and go to, this is called the gear. We can go to the gear and we can rename this. I'm going to rename this. I'm just going to call it Test Site. And I'm going to call it Agency 4. And then I'm going to give it a date. Okay, so this is the name of the site. I can change the favicon. The favicon is what appears in the upper corner of your URL as a little picture. I can put my Google Analytics here, and I can turn Whitelabel on or off. In my testing of Whitelabel, which is basically a cleaner, Mobi replace cleaner, where it cleans out some of the Mobirise links that promotes itself. What I found is that once this is installed, it's always enabled, no matter whether you enable it or disable it. I'm going to leave it disabled here for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to notice that on the pages, we have one page. We can create a new page, or we can clone a page. If I clone a page, I just click on that, and it would clone the page. Click OK. If I wanted to get rid of the page, I would just do that, and then say get rid of it. If I wanted to create a new page, I would just click on this, and then if I wanted to clone that, I would just click on clone, and I could just clone it as many times as I want. And I can go in and I can rename it. So I'll say this is we'll call this Contact Us, and we'll name the page Contact Us. It's a bad idea to use page 2 as a URL name, because Google, when it searches for it, it knows what Contact Us means. If I want to put something in the header, I put it here. If I want to put something in the body on the page, I can put it here. If I have a PHP page and I want to put something before the bracket DOC, I'd put it here. So now what we can do is we can click over here, and this is now, this page is now Contact Us. Click back to Pages, go to Home, and we can't rename Home. Some people try to rename Home. Don't do that. So what we'll do is we'll click plus, and we'll go to the theme, click on Theme, and these are your top menus. These are your headers. These are your features. It's just a big long list. So you just scroll down to what you need. Pricing tables, counters, countdowns, progress, tabs, forms, images and videos. Well, what I want to do is I want to go here, put the top menu here. I'm going to put this menu here. Click once, left mouse, click once. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to add an image. It's kind of like a video. And if I click on here, then it will insert it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a little bit, and I'm going to click on something that I like. So I'm going to click on this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down. I'm going to click on, I'm going to add another one. Something about, maybe something about us, maybe. So maybe something here. Here's another movie. So if I come down. You have to be careful, because if you heard that on my microphone, I don't know if you did or not, but I double clicked, and if you double click, then of course you're going to get two or two of the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and just click on this, and we're going to get rid of it now. Okay, so we're just going to add the bottom thing here, which would be the footer. Here's a footer. We'll just add this one. Now, the thing with Mobirise is kind of like a house that you go shopping for. And the house is called staged. A staging company comes in and they put all the furniture in the house and make it look really nice, and maybe you could see yourself living there. What Mobirise does is it pre-populates the entire page with information. But that's their Favicon. That's their name. Okay? It's all their stuff, which is good because it's their company. If I come here and I click on this here, and I can see that I want to, look at the edit. I want to change the alt tag and the title tag. Mobirise is here. So I need to get rid of that, put something else there. Otherwise, we're going to be promoting Mobirise. If I come here and click on this, I can change things around. I can also change the image itself. So enough of that. So now what we can do is a couple things we can do. We can create a Word document, like some working notes. Here's working notes from the 14th, and here's episode 4. And you can see I'm actually getting ready for episode 5. Here's episode 4. So what I can do is I could say I'm going to put in for home. I'm going to put in HTTP, and then I'm going to put in www.testsite.com. And that's my home page. And then I made a contact page. So for contact us, I can put HTTP www.testsite.com/contactus.html. Now what this allows me to do is when I put, some people who use Mobirise complain that when they type this in, they just type this in. Which I never do, because I work from notes. So here's contact us. We'll even change this so it says contact us. And then we're going to click on the link, and then see, it gives you an example of Mobirise.com. That's the format it wants. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to put that in there. Now I could make it open in a new window, which I never do, because I don't want all the tabs on the whole place opened up. So there's contact us, and we don't have a home page, but we could click here. So if we went back to our notes and we got to home, we got this home thing, the home link, we could come here, and of course we should probably change this to the name of our test site V4. This was agency V4, and it was January 15th, 2018. So that's when this is just a test site. You can do whatever you want. And so when I click here and I go here, instead of leaving that there, I can put my own link there. And that's an error. So we'll make sure that's not, if it's in the wrong format, it'll give you a red color, so we'll insert that. We're going to come back to contact us, and we're going to look to see if it's still there. There it is. Now, this is what we found, what I call as a workaround. If we put here, if we come here and type in about us, we just put in, HTTP, and then www.testsite.com, and then type in, what was it? Which page are we on? Oh yeah, about us. So it's hard to even remember. Now we say insert link. Now if this is right, we could do that. We can insert the link. Now if we click here, it's there, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times. So what we could do is we could come over here. We could use our notes. We could say, well, let's make a page about us. And we could put that in. So now we have working notes that we can save for future use to document what the URLs are. Obviously, from website building, we know that if this is wrong, if this doesn't go to this page, because it's a spelling error, like we put the wrong, a misspelling, then of course what it's going to do when it deploys, it's going to give you an error, which we call 404. So page not found. So now what we do is we can go through and we can change all these things. We can come here, we can actually get rid of this if we don't want it. We can come here and we can change things. Okay, it's beyond the scope of what we're doing here, because what we want to talk about is how to set up the interface. So we have the interface set up. Okay, so we have we can see how this might look different ways. We can see we can do an undo if we did something. Say we come over here and we put in some. We can do an undo, so it takes it out. Sometimes it doesn't work. It just kind of depends. We can see our version. Okay, so now, if we want to, we can go to themes and extensions, and if we have Google Analytics turned on, so then we can actually go back and let's say we didn't have it turned on. Let's go to themes and extensions, and let's say that it's always there. So let's say we delete it, and now it's gone. And let's say we delete any of this stuff that we have access to because it's either free or we purchased it. We have Google Analytics here. We'll just click on the plus, and it shows you how it works. To use Google Analytics, all you do is go to Accounts, go to your Google Webmaster Tool space where you ask Google to give you the Google Analytics for your site. And then what you would do is you would go to Sites and you would come up here to the gear and you would say, oh, I want to put my analytics in here. So if we went to a site that had Google Analytics, we'll do that. So say we actually went over to Google and we asked, we worked through how to get our Google Analytics for our site so it can track us and give us statistics, and it might give us something that looks like this. And we don't want to have redundancy, so we're not going to put that in. We're just going to put the script in. And this is not real data. It's kind of fictional data, but it's correctly formatted, if you will. But it's a test site, so it doesn't matter. And we're going to paste it in here. Control C and then Control V. And there it is. So now we're going to click OK. And if we wanted to, we could look at it. So what we're going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to publish it. So the publish key is how you actually get it ready to put it on your server or make a website on the internet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually publish this. So in order to publish this, I need to keep myself organized. So I have a thumb drive here named L. I have a folder that I created called, clicked on New Folder, created a folder called Test Site, Agency 4, and this was made for Episode 4. It's a test site, today's date, and I'm going to open this and I'm going to create it. I'm going to create a new, I'm going to call it Raw, a new folder called Raw. I'm going to create another new folder called Clean. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, when I publish this, what I'm going to do is I am going to browse and I'm going to find out where it is. So I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to go to L, cancel that, come on. I want to go to my computer and I want to go to L. Where's L? So here's L. Okay, I'm going to open that, and then I'm going to find what I created. In my organization, here, this is it. So I'm going to open this, and I'm going to actually copy this address, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to put, Okay, there it is. So there's where it is. There's where I put it. These are in my notes. Okay, and so let's add a little space here. So now I can go back to my notes and find out, what did I actually do today? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the raw folder. When I work with Mobirise, I have two folders. And I have a main folder for the site, and then I have a raw folder, and I should actually call this R1 raw, and then I should call this R1 clean. Okay, so I'm going to select R1 raw, and I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to always turn publish changes off, and also backing out. I backed out of that because I didn't do it. I'm going to go to sites, and I'm going to double check that Resize Images is off. Okay, here's the thing. Any kind of an image that's in your site that's an SVG, which is a vector, it will resize it to be massively large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that's always off. It defaults to be on. Okay? Okay. Also going to go to themes and extensions, and I'm going to dump Whitelabel 4 because I don't want it to clean it. I want it to just give it to me. So we're going to go back, and then we're going to go to it's resetting itself because we made some changes, and it has to coordinate between my desktop, which is a Lenovo i5 quad with a whole bunch of external drives, and now what we're going to do, and it has to coordinate with that with the cloud. So we're going to publish again, make sure changes are off, and then we're going to browse, and we're going to go back to L, and we're going to go to, this is the folder here. You can get really messed up by copying, publishing to the wrong folder, so you want to keep your ducks in a row. Remember I changed that to R1 raw. I'm going to select that, and this is off, and now I'm going to publish it. And what it's going to do is it's going to build it out, it's going to publish it, it's going to actually build it out into that file folder, giving me the HTML files, an asset folder with a whole bunch of subfolders, and a project.mobirise folder, which keeps track of how this thing is actually built. So if you gave me a project.mobirise, or gave me access to your project.mobirise, we could actually rebuild your site if it became corrupted. So on my second monitor, it showed this. This is the preview. Now, if you look down here, you can see when we go over, like here, if I go over here, see it says mobirise.com. We didn't change that. Here it says testsite.com. Here it says mobirise.com. We didn't change that. This one says test site about us. This one says contact us. This is correct. This says free. So here's the thing. If we publish this like this and use it, anybody clicks here, it's going to go to Mobirise. Some people have a problem with this, saying that Mobirise is doing that for self-promotion. No, they're doing it to populate in a default sense to make this look right so you can see the possibilities. Just like when you go to buy a house and it's already got furniture in it, of course you're going to put your own furniture. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to close this, and we're going to actually close out of our session. I want to make sure that we did what we're supposed to do. So we're supposed to do a hamburger, left menu, sites, pages, account, themes and extensions, and we didn't do help, so we're going to have to do that. So let's do the help. So here's help, and we can do three things from help. If you need help from a peer, like I'm your peer because I'm a user, I don't work for Mobirise, I don't work for Favicon, I don't live in the Netherlands, I don't live in Holland, I live in Colorado. And I'm a user, and I have about 1,000 hours as of January 18. I have about 1,000 hours playing around and using this for my sites. And since I own two hosting companies, it's understandable I'd be using this a lot. I can do two things. If I have a problem with the program, I can contact the developers, the support people. We could put @support. Can you help me? And if we try to send that now, it won't let me send it because it's not long enough. And also there's a spelling error, and they won't like being called support. We're going to try to send it. And see, it says your message is too short. They want more details. So you'd want to put more details in there. When you give them a bunch of details, then when you click send it, they're going to respond to your user email address. So that's awesome. Now, other people take all those questions that they want to send to support and they put them in the forum. And we're going to go to the forum now. But you don't really want to, if you're trying to get an official response, you don't really want to send it to the forum. Okay, so let's show an example of what I might do here. So I have sent a message here. I sent a message to them and I hit send. And I got a response back. So my message was from one of my user accounts that has all the paid things in it, from my primary educational firm. And I sent them, this is what I said. I created a 7-page, 34-box site using Agency 4M on Mobirise version 4.54. Upon export, an error message was reported. So the error is, this is the exact error. Ent assets image background.jpg not found on C program. In other words, when it was trying to build out and publish the site, it didn't find this background image, and it kind of snagged. Why am I getting this error? This is a test site, and most images are default. Please help doc. So what I did was, I'm not putting any of my images in. I'm just using the default images. That may be why it's happening. I don't know. Okay, so they got back to me, and she says, I sent it Monday, January 8th at 7:57 p.m., almost 8 o'clock on January 8th, Monday. Okay, I got on the 11th, which is Thursday, in the morning, my local time. Hi, Vera M from support says, hi, I have sent this info to our developers. They will check it. In other words, she doesn't know what the problem is. She doesn't know why it's doing it. There's a lot of moving parts when you're publishing a site, so I want to know what's going on. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, if we want to go to the Help Center, we can go to the Help Center, and we could say, let's see, come on, Help Center, come on up. Where am I? Oh, stop. Okay, so when I went to forums, this page popped up. Forums.mobirise.com. And you can see that I'm logged in as me. Okay, this is a user for all my test sites. I have other users because I own about 4 different licenses or so for testing all different things and using it for all different things. So first we're going to do is we're going to see this stuff. These are all the post threads that have been posted. The newest one goes first. And if you go all the way down here and look, you can see that I put a post in a long time ago about, dumb Mobirise questions. So let's type in dumb Mobirise questions. But they go, here it is here. Go down here, how to create your own website, all these different things, and we can search on it. Okay, we can just keep on searching until we find what we're looking for. We click on here. We can see that first of all, we can see this is who we are, and this is if somebody wants their private messages, they can simply just go. They can click on our name, and so if we make a post, they can go to they can type us a message here, bold, italic, a link, a code, a smiley face, a link, URL, or a picture. And you can see this has been. I can change my picture if I want to. Do different things. I can change my name if I want to. Click here. I can edit my profile, and I can change my name. And I have tested this out where it can be almost like something like 24 characters long. Like let me help you if you want was one of mine to see if it would work. I don't know why you want to change your name, but you're welcome to. You should not use your real name. If your name's John Smith, you should not use John Smith. You should use a pen name. Go to Wikipedia and type in pen names, and you'll see a whole bunch. Okay, if we wanted to come here, we can click on Preferences. And we can do all these things here. We can turn them all on. We can turn them all off. We can do anything. Here's a quote setting. We can set the quote settings. So how deep is the quote? Okay, and you can play around with it. You don't want to do too much with that because it'll make you crazy, getting too much junk. Here's your notification preferences. Okay, here's telling you the emails associated with Voyager 01. Here it's telling you if you have notifications, if you made a post and somebody responded to the post and your notifications were turned on, it would have a number here. Here's your bookmarks in case you see stuff you like, you can bookmark it. And here, this one here is your account options. So you can sign out here, or you can do preferences. And you should sign out. You shouldn't just leave yourself logged in. It's not a good thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close this window, and then we're going to close this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to sites, and we're going to do the most important thing we can do before we leave. Here's our test site. So we're going to come here, and we're going to export this site. If we don't export this site, we just look at history. These are the things, these are history files that are automatically created. I created this site 30 minutes ago with you. Well, you watched me do it. Agency 4, right? So we can revert back if we wanted to. I never do this. What I do is I have a work session. Okay. If you corrupt these files, if you corrupt the file, you will lose all the work. You have to start over. Way to do that. There's two ways to do it. The first way to do it is to publish it. When we publish the file, we click here and we publish the file like we did earlier. Remember, we published it here. Do you remember that? Okay. So here's where it is. This is just my computer files. I'm just looking at it. And I published it here. If you look there, you'll see it's in this raw. I published it there. I open this up and there it is. So I have some pages and I renamed this, but I didn't rename this one. And there's my asset folder and there's my project.mobirise. Okay, and these are my assets. So I have all of these things and here are my images. Okay, and because we use the default images, we should be changing those out. Look at how big it is. So we go up to assets, then we can go up to raw. Okay, so if my history files become corrupted, I can reload from here. If you, as a user, have Agency 4 installed on your computer, I can give you the project folder, which is all the code on how it's built before it's published. It's how this thing works together. It's not published until you publish it up here, right? So we published it to this folder. So we have all these things. What we want to do is we don't want to just trust that. What we want to do is we want to cancel this. We want to come over to sites. Very important. We go to sites and then we go here and then we click on export. At the end of a work session, you export it. When you export it, it's like guaranteeing that your project and everything else is intact. And if it's not, you'll know it right now. So if you remember, this is where I put it. This is where the raw file is. I'm not going to put it there because I'm more organized than that. So what I do is I've exported Mobirise sites. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this once and click on it again. I'm going to copy that whole string. Then I'm going to come up to the exported. I'm going to make a new folder. The new folder is going to be called exported. And I'm going to put that right in there. And that's the name of the site. And it's exported. And this is the right day. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that and I'm going to select that. When we're over here and we're exporting it, it's asking you where do you want to put it. So you come over here. You can do this differently if you want to. You could bring your, create this using new folder and then select it. However you want to do it. You can do it ahead of time and then just select it. So I'm going to select the folder, select it here, and it's building it now. So just be patient. Don't be clicking on anything. Let it do its job. So it's thinking and it's working. And then what it's going to do is it's going to come up and say it's built. There it goes. Progress, exporting, initialization, please wait. Your site was successfully exported to the folder L, thumb drive, exported sites, DRP. So in mine, if you look back over here, I closed this, so I probably shouldn't have, so sorry about that. But if we go over here and we look at exported, we told it to export it to exported site agency 4, right? Now, I don't know if you see my cleverness here, but when I created this, let's go back here. When I created exported sites, I named this folder Exported Mobirise Sites dr-p. Okay, and that is because the user was not this user. The user was my main thing. So right now I'm out of protocol. I'm supposed to export it only to sites that I'm only supposed to export it to folders that are with that user. So what I should have done is I should have copied this, and I should have said, give me a new folder. I should have put it there. I should have said sites Voyager 01. Okay? And then what I should have done is come over here, click OK here, come back here. Where is it? Open back up. I should have went here, and this is wrong because this is the test site. Where is it? Test site? No. Let's see. This is the one. This is where it was exported. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. If it will let me, I'm just going to cut it, and then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to say test site AGC. No, that's not it. I want this one here, and I'm going to paste it in here. I could have exported it here as well. We look at the exported data. All the exported data doesn't have all the files in published. If we look at the published, we had HTML this and HTML that. Here it just has this, and it has a screenshot. So if we look at the screenshot, so we opened Adobe Image Ready, and we said, okay, this screenshot here is this. It's a screenshot of my page. That's only in your export. You'll only see that in the export. In a perfect world, you would publish this, and you would export it. I totally recommend, if you build a site and you don't publish it at the end of your session, good chance it's going to be corrupted or something's going to go wrong. Always publish your site when you're finished with the session, and also always go and export the site. And always make sure that, if I was clever, what I would have done was I would have said in this thing here, I would have said Agency 04, and I would have put Voyager 01. So I would have known what the user is. Because if you are trying to open, say I gave you this project file, and I gave you all the assets, I gave you the exported group, right? You would not be able to open it unless you had Agency 4, which is a paid theme. So if you didn't have Agency 4, it will say, sorry, you don't have the right theme to open it. That's the way it works. That's why when you start playing around with Mobirise, you should only use the free tools, the free add-ons, the free themes. Because if you go too fast, you end up getting all jumbled up, and it gets very confusing. So close that up. Okay, now going back to my notes, we ended up saying, how do I have the interface? Most important thing with the interface is to make sure images is off. Because if that's on, it can do really strange things. So always turn that off. As a matter of fact, you should create an asset folder to be really successful. You have an asset folder, someplace on your hard drive where you're putting images that you want to use. So, if I was going to use my L drive, and I was going to say here, well, I'm going to use, I'm going to work on this one here. Okay, it's a different site, but I could just come here and I could just put, image assets, image and other, and I could put everything in that folder. All my images, I could optimize all my images and everything. I'd be set to go. So the idea is, what you want to do is you want to have everything ready to go and make it easy on yourself. If you don't make it easy on yourself and you get confused, then everything goes sideways and you start panicking. So now what we can do is, the last thing I'm going to show you is, this is what we created, right? We created this, right? And we came here and we created this. All right, we did that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cancel this. we're going to delete it. So all that work we just did, test site agency 4, we're going to get rid of it. It's gone. There it is. It's gone. We removed it. And so let's say we work for 3 days on this. Oh my God, that would be terrible. It would be gone, right? No, it's not, because we published it, so we have the project files and all the assets. We can get it there. We also exported it. So all we have to do now is go to Sites, click here, Import, and then find it. That's why we have notes. If you remember back where I said, where did we put the notes? We actually put it into a Word document. If you remember here, we actually said, I'm going to put it, go down here, and I said, here, this is where it is. So that helps me remember, because there's too much. There's just too much to remember. So what we can do now is we can go to L. Sometimes you just need a little help. And we come here, and then we can come here, and open it, and then click on Project, and Open. And it should use the project data, all the data from that, and it should rebuild the site, and there it is. There's a site we just created, and we had deleted it. Now some people will say, oh my God, if you deleted it, then that's a bad thing. You know, it could be a bad thing. If you lose your data, it's a really bad thing, because if you have hours and hours on it, it's going to be a problem. So that's how it works. I hope this helped you. We went pretty long, 41 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, hope everything goes well, and let's get on to the next video. This is Doc Palmier, Denver. Bye.